Hi class, today's lesson is comparing box plots. It continues on with exercise 9D. We compare data using parallel box plots. These are two or more box plots drawn on the same scale. So then we can compare the data sets within the same context. So here, if we look at these parallel box plots, we can compare data set A and data set B. When comparing box plots, there's a number of different things we can look at. So the range, the interquartile range, so these are comparing the spread of the box plots, the median, so the middle of the two box plots, and the maximum and minimum values. When comparing box plots, it's important to list the similarities, so that's things that are the same, and also the differences. Let's try an example. So we're going to use these parallel box plots to compare the heights of boys and heights of girls. So let's look first at the median. So the median value is higher for boys than girls. So we can write boys have higher median height. Then we could also look at the maximum height. So boys' maximum is 74 and girls is 69. So boys have higher median and higher maximum height. Then we could also look at the range. So the range is the maximum minus the minimum. So for the boys it's 74 minus 66, which is 8. And for the girls it's 69 minus 61, which is also 8. So the range of the heights is the same, which is 8. We could also look at the interquartile range. So that's Q3 minus Q1, 72 minus 68, which is 4. And for the girls, it's 68 minus 63, which is 5. So the interquartile range is similar. So from this, we could probably conclude that the boys are taller than the girls. So we also know that 50% of the data is contained in the box. So 50% here, yeah, they're much taller than the girls, which at 50% is all lower down there. So we can say that the boys are taller than the girls, for the most part anyway. Okay, this next example, we're comparing store A and store B. We're looking at the number of team wristbands sold daily. So first I'm going to look at the median. So store B has a higher median of sales. However, store A has a higher maximum value of sales. So that means on one day they've sold the most. So store A has the highest maximum of wristbands sold. It also has, that's the maximum, it also has the minimum as well. So it had a bad day where it sold the least amount. It also has the lowest minimum of wristbands sold. This also indicates to me that it's got a bigger range. So the range, remember, is the maximum minus the minimum. So store A has a bigger range of sales, and if we also look at the interquartile range, it's bigger than the one for store B, and a bigger interquartile range of sales. So if we had to think like which store is more successful, it depends on what you measure success. For me, I would say that store B is more successful. More of its sales were higher, like in the higher number, than most of store A's. Even though store B didn't get the maximum sale, its minimum was a lot higher than store A's. So I'm going to say store B had better and more consistent sales. It wasn't so all over the shop. I'll just whiz through some more scenarios without actually writing it out. So if I'm looking at the fuel consumption between Australian and European cars, looking at the median, the Australian cars have a higher fuel consumption. Same with their maximum, it's higher. So I would say Australian cars are consuming more fuel than European cars. If we're looking at the snowfall at two different ski resorts, the median of Mad Mountain has more snowfall than the Powder Valley. However, the Mad Mountain has a higher spread, so the range is higher, is bigger, as well as the interquartile range is bigger for Mad Mountain. And last two, so this one's looking at two different examiners picking up spelling errors on exams at the end of the year. So examiner 2 has a higher median and also has a higher maximum. So examiner 2's picked up more spelling errors than examiner 1. They've got a fairly similar range though. And this one's looking at group A and B shopping time. Same, they've got a fairly similar range, but group A has a higher median shopping time than group B. Could you please complete the comparing box plots worksheet and submit it to MyPanola?